right. Make sure everything's good to go. Boom. There we go. All right. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Zoe with No Days Off DFS, here to bring you guys that WNBA slate breakdown live doing the slate breakdown for the 3-game WNBA slate we got today. We got Dallas taking on Connecticut, Washington taking on Atlanta, and Seattle taking on the Las Vegas Fakers. Normally would have did a video, but last night, man, after watching NBA Finals, I ain't gonna lie, I was depressed. I was down last night, bro. That shit killed me last night. Couldn't do it. Couldn't deal with it. I just like bump it. I'm gonna go ahead and go to bed. But gonna break this slate down real quick. Look at some props and stuff like that. I see Ghost Rider. He already in here. Paige Becker, 17 points. Going up against the Connecticut Sun. They're a weak team already in regards to giving up a good chunk of points, rebounds, things like that. I mean, granted, he's also going up against Dallas. I don't believe that Paige played in the first game either. Either for us. So let me check that real quick. Because, yeah, I don't believe that Paige played in that first one. No, she did. She dropped 21 in that game. My bad. I lied. That was actually one of our wins that we actually got on the season. 17 points. I can see it. That's definitely something you could take. Or if you're playing a prize picks, you could definitely mess with a goblin on that one right there. You could definitely do that. But I'm gonna look at that stuff. I'm gonna look at the props and stuff like that. Yo, I need you today, my guy. This is my first time playing WNBA. Well, hey, I'm gonna tell you right now. You said the NBA is dead to you. The WNBA for you could be dead after one slate. No cap, no lie. Straight up. The WNBA could be dead to you after one slate because that is just how the cookie crumbles sometimes whenever it comes down to the WNBA. You got to be somewhat majorly right on half the shit that you go through and you do for all this stuff right here, man. Like the ladies will sell you on just some crazy stuff. But let me put this on Twitter real quick. Boom, boom. And then I'm going to share this with my boy BK and Jay in case they want to come and join us while we over here on the live stream. And then I'm going to go ahead and start breaking everything down. So just give me 1 second. And then we're going to go ahead and get this started. If you're a Pacers fan, respect to you. Respect. I figured that it was going to. So I'm going to be honest. The moment that I saw that Drake bum ass decided that he wanted to place a bet for the Thunder to win, I was like, yep, it's over. It's over. The curse of Drake strikes once again. Can't even do it. But not even just that, though. So my wife normally wears her Thunder jersey, and we've won every single time that she's worn that. She didn't have it on yesterday. She didn't even watch the game yesterday. And it was just like, you know, without that, the good luck vibes were not there or anything at all whatsoever. So that also just killed me yesterday as well. But all right, looking at it on today's 3-game slate, we got definitely some injury news that we do have to pay attention to on this right here. For the Dallas Wings, last game, there was a shakeup in the starting lineup. They started Zaza. Now, going up against Connecticut Sun, I can see her definitely getting the start again because when you look at the Sun starting lineup, it is primarily 3 guards that they do have out there with Hartley, Sheldon, and Marina Mabry. And that's actually a perfect matchup going up against Dallas with Zaza, Paige, and Enrique to run that back over there. And then their forwards, Misha Hine and Tina Charles, good matchup right there for that. And then Alyssa Smith and Olivia Nelson-Adota. So not to worry about all that right over there. The injury news for Dallas is the same that it's been over the last couple of weeks. G's out. She's overseas. McCown's out overseas. And Maddie's just out due to a leg injury. For Connecticut, LaCann, she's out. For Washington, no news to report for that. That's actually good. A clean bill of health for them. Same thing for Atlanta. For Seattle, It's showing that Gabby's probable. Gabby did roll her ankle in the last game, but she walked out, her own pressure, weight, whatever the hell you want to call it, on her own free will off the court, sat down, and she didn't go like to the locker room or anything like that. So I do imagine that she should play, but unfortunately, that is the late last game on the slate. So any news for that, we probably won't get that until 8, 9 o'clock, 9:30ish before this game is actually going to tip. Same thing over here for the Las Vegas Aces. Asia was upgraded from being doubtful to questionable. So I do think there's a chance that Asia will be back today. So we should actually have her back in the starting lineup, which would be good because we do know that the Aces, they need Asia back. They definitely really do need her to be back over here for them to have any type of chance or anything for what they're doing over there for them. Going on over to DraftKings, the site I play the most on the site. If you guys don't got an account, you want one, check the link down in the description below so you guys get that deposit match bonus and join your boy over here on the King. So for those of you first time playing on DraftKings or anything like that, as you can see, much different from the NBA. You got 2 guards, 3 forwards, and then the last spot is a util. You could play whatever in regards to either a guard or a forward in the spot, but then you just got to stay underneath that 50K. Whatchamacallit? Starting out on the Washington Mystics side, we already seen this matchup. They literally just played, I want to say like 2-3 games ago, if I'm not mistaken. 2 games ago. Brittany Sykes, 26 minutes in that game, only 19.75 fantasy points. So it was a down game for her. Would imagine that she could possibly bounce back here, but at 11K, that is to me steep as hell for a price to play for Sykes, especially when Shakira Austin, who is now back in the starting lineup. She started that last game, which is a real boost, 7,800. Looking at everyone that they have over here on the Washington Mystics, Shakira Austin, the price tag, the upside, the uses that she has for them, all have to adjust for the fact that now Austin is now back. Looks like she's full go now. She played 27 minutes in the last game. So that tells me she could possibly push for a good 30-ish minutes or something like that if they needed to. The game stays close enough, things of that nature. So definitely something to pay attention to and keep an eye on. But out of all these guys over here, Shakira Austin will be the one that I really do have interest in for them. Off the bench last game in 19 minutes, she put up 21.25 fantasy points. So over a fantasy point per minute, pretty much is what she's taking out, like 1.25. If you want to gauge it out right there, definitely the shot attempts, that's good to see. But the defensive stats, that's really what it is for her. And staying out of foul trouble, those things are pluses. At 7,800, I do like the upside. Kiki, she's out there. She is playing. But when they have a full rotation of bigs, and I've been saying it time and time again, that's the only thing that worries me about it. And for her, they got to find that balance, especially now that you got Austin back in the starting line and just all the rotations and stuff like that that can go down and be over here for them. So something for us to pay attention to right there. What's going on, honey? You ain't gotta snatch it from me. A little sexy thing. Besides Kiki, I honestly, that would be a GPP option for me. Not anything that I'm too pressed to get up, especially at the 8,300 price tag. Citron, she's coming off of a really strong game last time out. That was versus the Chicago Sky. Everyone should be able to have a good game versus Chicago. They're one of the weak defenses, just like Dallas. But she did struggle going up against Atlanta. She played 30 minutes. The minutes are looking really secure for Citron. I'm liking it. I do think more of a GPP option at 8,100. There are some other pivots and spots. I do believe we could pay up more at the guard position on today's slate. Not anything that I'm too pressed to try to get to her. So as you can see, Shakira Austin, the best play to me, my eyes, over here on the Washington Mystics side. Melbourne, Sutton, Aaliyah Edwards, Stephanie Dolson, Emily Inkster, all those would be like little filler options that you could possibly get to if I had to rank them. The best one, of course, off the bench for them to start. We're probably going to be looking in the realm of Inkster. I just really feel like she has the upside, especially at 5,200, that price. We do know that she plays some pretty decent minutes, especially as a backup forward. And if Shakira Austin or Kiki get themselves into foul trouble, that could be some more minutes for Emily Inkster alongside Leah Edwards, which I'm surprised that we're not really seeing the run, the burn, and everything for Leah Edwards because what she did in Unrival and everything, I would have thought she would have came to the season being able to build on that in her second year right there for them. Outside of that, really nothing else over there for me on the Washington Mystics side. Switching on over to Atlanta, looking at them over here. Again, they just played recently. Ryan Howard at 11-3. I do think that this is kind of steep This is steep. This is the Psych matchup right here for him. And she's also going to defend Sykes on the other end. She didn't shoot great versus them. 4 of 11 from 3. That's where the bulk of her points came from. And for Ryan to have a big game, she's honestly stuffing the stats. She's doing a lot more than what she's done in years past. But the scoring has to be a part of it. And then also getting those peripheral things. She has to put it all together at one time. GPP option, especially at that 11-3, when I have a Jackie Young on the slate, Skylar Diggins-Smith, a Paige, Enrique on the slate. Those are other options I would rather look to besides looking at Ryan Howard. So definitely just makes her more of a GPP option in my eyes when you look at it. Alicia Gray, though, the consistency that she continues to play with is what makes Alicia Gray just pop. She's going out here night in, night out. She's playing some of the big minutes over here for this team, which is, of course, really great for us to see that for her. 36, 29, 36, 33. But it's what she's doing in those minutes in that role whenever she's out there. 28.75 fantasy points. Not bad, but that was going up against New York. So I'm not going to falter. They are, quote unquote, the best defense out here in the league. Last time versus Washington, it was Alicia Gray that went out there and killed them. 32 points. 3 steals, 4 assists, 5 rebounds. So that right there for me definitely will have my eyes looking at her when it comes down to deciding between, do I want to play Ryan Howard or do I want to play Alicia Gray? Alicia Gray kind of ticking it right there, especially because she's just been so consistent on the season. So I can see myself definitely getting there. But of course, Canada, she's back. The only issue with Canada, those minutes have not hit up towards 30 minutes. She is starting to build. She's given us at least 20 fantasy points in back-to-back games. So the upside can be there. She shot poorly going up against Washington the last time going up against them. So maybe we can get a much better game here in this situation, the spot. So I will keep my eyes peeled at 7,100. It's something interesting, not something that you got to plant your flag down on and whatnot. When I said the clean bill of health over here for Atlanta, I do just remember that Griner illness is questionable for Friday's game against the Mystics. So this is a late addition to the injury report for Brittany Griner. Kind of makes me feel like she's going to be out. If Griner's going to be out, we're going to see one of Niles Hillman or Nia Coffey moving to the starting lineup. More than likely, it's going to be Hillman. If that's going to be the case, Bree Jones, of course, is going to slide down to the 5. I like the upside for the bench mob over here, and I was going to get to them. Hillman and Coffey, both of these guys, they're splitting the minutes, they're splitting the burn for what they get over here for Atlanta as the primary main 2 bigs playing as their backup guard that comes off the bench. For me, Hillman is a good player. Now, it's kind of funny. The last time going up against Washington, 26 minutes, she drops 25 fantasy points. Are we going to get a repeat of that for her to be able to go out here and do that again? That's the question, man. It really does suck. It sucks. This was the last team that she just went off versus again, but lineup, oh shoot, everyone's going to be flocking to her. Take a stab at Nia Coffey as a GPP option because then she's going to soak up all that forward uses off the bench, and that's one way that you can get different on today's slate. Brianna Jones, the price is just a little bit too much up there for me, 9,300. I don't like it. Going up against Washington, 23 minutes, 13 fantasy points. I just think she's a bit expensive when I can pay up for Aneka, who's right there in regards to that same-ish price range. Go up to Gabby Williams, who's a forward as well, that I can get to right there, or drop down to Ezzy Magbogor or something like that. I just don't think that 9,300 Brianna Jones is paying off 9,300 worth for me to even want to go or get there. And then Papa off the bench, 4,800. Definitely just the usage that this girl is having off the bench has been phenomenal these last 2 games. 6 of 8 from the field in back-to-back games. A couple of assists, playing, giving us some defense, playing with confidence out there. And she's hitting right there at the rule of thumb that I go for my value plays off the bench, where they're at least playing roughly about 15 minutes. So definitely don't mind looking at the Pow as a potential play that we can get to over there. Anybody got any questions or anything over here for this Washington and Atlanta game? Drop them down in the chat, and I will get to it and try to give you guys any insight in that regards. If not, do I do FanDuel? I'll be on that site. So for FanDuel, I have run into the issue of I continuously get locked out of my account. Besides getting whatever, FanDuel's security is shit to me because I change the password. I do everything that they tell me to do, and then it'll show me that someone's trying to log into my account in Toucan Tuca or some shit. And so honestly, I just stopped playing on FanDuel. I don't play DFS on FanDuel for anything anymore. Everything for me is DraftKings. DraftKings to me has been the more secure site and everything for me. Now I use FanDuel Sportsbooks whenever I'm in a state that allows me to use it. That's the only thing that I use for FanDuel. But I don't specifically play on FanDuel. I will say though, everything that I'm saying to you, you can use that to build on FanDuel. You just have to look at the prices and make sure that those players that you're looking at fall right down into that same range. So like I'm still going to give you the exact notes that you can use on FanDuel, who's in a good spot that you should look at and things of that nature. And you can do the same thing over there on FanDuel that I'm doing over here on DraftKings. All right. Dallas taking on Connecticut. My team finally won another game. We won. We beat the Golden State Valkyries. Big ups to us actually getting that dub right there. Led by none other than Paige Becker and Wnba Dfs. Finally getting to see some cohesion out here between the two primary guards over here for us. Paige is playing huge minutes. I see exactly why you want to go ahead and play that 17.5 points. I see it because Paige, she's taking a ton of shots. She's out there. She has not hit the 3-ball too well in these last 2 games, but and even going up against Connecticut, she didn't hit it well. She was 8 of 10 from the field and points on the season. Definitely would be a spot I could see myself or her fantasy points. Either one of those things. I do think this game should be close. She's giving it to us on the defensive side. The fact that she's getting steals, she's had a steal in every game this season except for one. Every game this season, she has gotten a steal except for one. And she's also blocking the ball. The upside is huge in regards to what she's given us and just the minute security that we have for a player that's playing 35 plus minutes. If their fantasy points are anywhere south of 40, I typically will look at that player as a potential play for a fantasy point upside, especially when it is a good matchup like what it is going up against the Connecticut Sun. So I do like this upside in the spot for Paige at the 11.5. Definitely a good GPP option that we can get. The price, if it scares you, and maybe you could think, you know what, the narrative is not all the way there in regards to want to go to Paige. Opposing ones, they have been killing Connecticut. We just saw Caitlin be able to scrounge her way to 34 fantasy points. Sykes, she dropped 40 on them as well, going up against them. And then, of course, Paige in that first game versus them, she dropped 42 fantasy points. I will say, though, Arike Ogunwale, we know whenever she gets to go up against her girl, Marina Mabry, she typically likes to have a good game. And what Marina is actually doing, I mean, not Marina, what Arike is actually doing out there, still controlling and contributing in regards to the assist department. Would think that I will fall more towards Paige, but they're playing off each other. They're playing pretty well. Looking at it, out of her last 5 games, she's had 3 games where she was able to go over 40 fantasy points. And I know one of those was without Paige, but the last 2 games where Paige has played, she's looking good out there. I'm liking the upside. I'm liking what I'm seeing. I don't mind looking at Arike, especially because just like Paige, her minutes are pretty secure as well. It's the forwards where their minutes are just so wonky. They're playing mid-20s. They're playing less than 30 minutes and stuff like that. So Arike, the little bit of savings that I get to come down to that 10-8. Love the upside for her. Don't mind going to her right here. Dejanay Carrington, I kind of want to see this price continue to fall just a little bit more. She came off the bench last game, responded with 22 fantasy points in 22 minutes, so a fantasy point per minute. Did not shoot the ball well, but was able to get to the line with that aggression, that playing downhill. At 8,900, I want that price to fall a little bit more. I do think she's a bit expensive for us to want to get up there and possibly potential to even just play her. Misha Hines-Allen, she's kind of locked into the mid 25 and up minutes for her, just simply because we are short on bigs. We don't have bigs. Maddie's out. Big T's overseas. We just signed Lee. She's still getting acclimated and used to the team. Nalissa Smith, she's going to get yanked back and forth. So Misha Hines-Allen, she's kind of like, damn, kind of got to play Misha. So looking at her, last time when she went going up against Connecticut, in 20 minutes, she had 22.75 fantasy points. She's putting up over a fantasy point per minute versus them. Last 2 games, she's been playing pretty well, especially with the 27 and 28 minutes. So the minutes upside as well is there for her. I don't mind it if I was to land there. Your pivot, which it will be in the next game, would be looking at maybe Ezi Magmagor instead of Misha Hines-Allen at that spot. Maybe you can get the big Ezi block game or something like that. Would be something to consider right there. Charles came back. Charles played 24 minutes. Charles dropped 30.75 fantasy points. Now you know Charles' ceiling, but you also know Charles' floor. Do not be overhyped with what we saw Kayla Charles go out there and do. She's been with the team for a minute. She can play. She definitely can play. She was playing with heart. Love the upside. Love everything that I saw. But at 6,900, hell no. Hell to the no. I am not playing that for a bench player that potentially can go out there and play 15 minutes. I'm not going to do that. That's crazy. That is crazy. Instead, I would rather take a chance on Alyssa Smith, especially if she was to still get the start. The only thing is that her minutes are just not there. She is not getting the run over there for the minutes, which really does suck, because I do think the upside could possibly be there for Alyssa. She's been playing very aggressive over the last couple games. Look like she's much better locked in and things of that nature. But 6,300, I would definitely fade. Wouldn't even look in that direction. If they start Zaza again, 5,300, she played 17 minutes in that game. Definitely did not have the shot falling at all. She did take a good chunk of threes. If she can actually have a good shooting night, that 5,300 price tag will be like, damn, that was a steal. But more GPP, especially because those minutes aren't secure. And then lastly, for me, is Lee Uri, bumped up to 4,200 from being flat min. Played 13 minutes in her debut. Didn't look bad to me in my eyes. Of course, I'm going to think that everything that she does right now is going to be great, because we haven't had an actual talented big in quite some time. So Lee, the upside, I do think it's there, especially at 4,200. Maybe we could see more minutes for her here in this game as she continues to get acclimated, 15, 18-ish minutes. That would be great. Would be something I would look to as a value option, especially at that 4,200 price range. Would be one I would feel pretty safe in regards to getting to for me. Flip side of thing, looking over here for Connecticut, it's kind of shifting from being just the Marina Mabry and Tina Charles show. Now, Marina, we know that she likes to try to go up against her former girl Enrique. Like that's the good old back and forth that they always have. Going up against us earlier in the season, she played 28 minutes, only gave us 26.5 fantasy points. I can see her maybe doing a little bit more here. It's been a little bit back and forth in regards to her and everything that she's doing. So 9,800. It's do I play it? I think she could possibly be lower owned on this slate, especially when I have a Jackie Young who's right there around the same price range. Skylar Diggins-Smith is on the slate, Chelsea Gray, especially if Asia was to miss and stuff like that. So I'm not completely sold on wanting to get to her. I'm not, because she does have a point where she kind of checks out the game. And I'm going to be honest. Besides Tina, the younger girls are starting to do a lot more. Olivia Nelson and just giving it her all. Watch out there. And we know Dallas has struggled versus opposing bigs. We're finally seeing Murrow getting minutes. In that last game that she played, 23 minutes. 23. 16 points, 3 steals, 9 rebounds. This is the dog that I saw playing college hoops last season. And I've been waiting to be able to see her be unleashed. It looks like maybe we might finally start to see her getting unleashed to be out here. If she's going to continue to eat into more of those minutes, and they let old bag of bones continue to rail back in those minutes from her, that'll be great, because you do need to let these young girls get the run, because this is going to be the future of your team. But Tina Charles, I really don't have too much interest in. I know last time out going up against Dallas, 29 minutes, she dropped 41 fantasy points. She's looked like ass over the last couple of games, considering what her price tag is sitting at. So straight up GPP, I don't see myself getting to her. I just think that that's way too expensive. She can have a big game, but I won't be there to find out for that. Olivia Nelson-Dodd at 7,600. Like I said, she shows some pop and everything, but I'm just saying, I just wish that we could understand what these minutes would be, because Murrow is a dog, bro. 6,800. I think this is one of those matchups that Murrow can go out there and pop if they will give her like another 25 minutes. It would be crazy. Outside of that, it is the revenge spot for JC Sheldon. Once again, going up against Dallas. Last time versus us, she had a good game. 33 minutes, 24.75 fantasy points. Oh, correction. I'm sorry. I said it wrong. The bad, horrible JC, who should be suspended from the league for instigating and interrogating Caitlin Clark, playing some horrible defense, scratching and clawing at her. She should be suspended. She shouldn't even be allowed to be able to play in this game right now, man. It's crazy that the commissioner and no one has stepped in to get rid of this thug over here. Her and her partner, Marina Mabry, they need to be out of the league. JC Sheldon is a pretty good play, man. Decent value, 6,100. I do like it. If you don't want to play Thug Bones and Harmony, Marina Mabry, you can definitely mess with JC Sheldon. I do like the upside right there. Lindsay Allen, not touching that with a 10-foot pole. Bria Hartley, 5,900. She's out there. That's all I could literally say for Bria Hartley, is that she's out there. Sanaya Rivers, she's back to the bench, which is kind of like, damn. But if she was to start, I would have a little bit of interest in her. 22 minutes versus Dallas last time, only 13 fantasy points. More of a GPP option, especially because of her price. But definitely something I would keep in my back pocket as a potential play. Right now, JC Sheldon, Murrow, those are like the real two that kind of pop out and stick out to me as potential plays over there for it. Before we go over to the next game, let me see what you guys got from me in chat. Yeah, FanDuel has been pretty shit for me in regards to even want to mess with that. It's under 40. Is Underdog's fantasy points the same, like where they use FanDuel's grading for it? If it is the same as the FanDuel grading where the blocks and steals count for like 3, then I definitely don't mind it for her. When looking at Paige, I got her projected literally right at 39 fantasy points is what I'm projecting her at for it. So definitely don't mind taking that right there for her. Do you like Jewel Lloyd in a revenge narrative, although Asia may be back? I'm about to actually get to that, and we're about to talk about that in a second right now. So with that one, let's go ahead and let's shift on over to this last game. All right. Seattle taking on Las Vegas Aces. I want to say this is the third meeting now that we're seeing between these two teams. I'm pretty sure this is the third time that we're seeing them. This is the third time that we have this game, this matchup. First game, NECA, she had a great game versus them. Second game, it was more like it was mid. Honestly, Las Vegas has just been pretty mid in regards to any of the games that we've been getting from them lately. With Asia, without Asia, but I do think Asia needs to play. Asia does need to play. 10-6 though for NECA is a bit too much for me. I don't see myself getting there at that price. Do I like her as a potential GPP option at the 4 position? Yeah, I do think it's some pretty decent upside, especially if Gabby was to miss. I think that a couple more shot attempts and stuff like that would be able to go towards NECA in that regards. But at 10-6, you would just have to find the right value to get up there. Skylar Diggins at 10-3. I also do think that her is like, I don't know, especially if Gabby's like fully good to go and everything. Gabby has been doing a lot for this team. Like her usage is rivaling right up there with Skylar. So I kind of would see myself coming down to the cheaper high usage stud over here for Seattle. And that would be Gabby to me in my eyes, would be the one I would want to get to. Now, if Gabby was to miss, I could imagine that they would start Alicia Clark into the starting lineup. But my eyes would kind of divert over here to Erica Wheeler, who is at 7,400. And even when the game blows out, she's still out there on the court. Versus Las Vegas, she played 22 minutes, dropped 19.5 fantasy points in that one game. And then she had the big pop-off game versus them, which she played 30 minutes and dropped 42.25 fantasy points. Pretty consistent. Don't mind her as a value option over here, especially to get off of the Skylar and the NECAs over here. So that would be something I would look towards. Malonga, Cook, Brown, hell no. Ain't even going to worry about none of those. Now, Essie Magbagor, I don't know what was up in that last game because her minutes were just pulled back, especially coming off of 2 good 30-minute games. I was actually shocked that they only played her 16 minutes in the game. Like the game didn't get out of hand crazy where she couldn't have been out there. It really did suck to not see her play more minutes. But someone who I've always said time and time again, she gets those blocks. She definitely can have a really big game and go off. And we got robbed of that last time out. More of a GPP option, but definitely something that I don't mind. Think she can go under the radar with everyone looking more towards the Gabby Williams, Skylar Diggins-Smith, and things like that. So she's going to pop. She's going to be able to pop in one of these random games, and you're going to want to have her when that actually does. All right. On the Las Vegas Aces side, Asia Wilson, I don't have to talk about it. 11-8. If she plays, she plays. Then I want to play her. It's kind of like the same thing. You live and die with it just because her ownership is always going to be high. Just like Caitlin Clark last night. She gave us a floor game, but I was able to cash still just because I had Caitlin Clark and I got different in other spots. Still was able to cash inside of my lines. It's kind of one of those things with Asia. She's going to be over 60, 70% owned. So, yeah, if you don't have her, you can lap the field if she goes out there and has the dead of the game. But they're going to need her. They're going to literally need her to be able to beat Asia Wilson and remind everybody that, hey, I am one of the top faces of the league. Going up against Seattle, 35 minutes, she dropped 45.25 fantasy points in that last game. And then the game before that, in 28 minutes, she dropped 33.75. So over a fantasy point per minute. The time off that she's had, I understand, was for a concussion. I don't think that they're going to ease her back. She should be out there playing about 32, 35 minutes. And if she does, the upside is tremendously through the roof. Now, if she's out, Jackie Young at 9,700, definitely going to have to look there. Hasn't given us the greatest big games going up against Seattle, but still, her usage and everything, it's up there. It's up there. So we would have to look in that direction. Chelsea Gray, of course, definitely wouldn't mind getting to her if Asia was to sit. But if Asia plays, I really don't have any interest in playing at 9,100 price tag for her. It's one is priced up over here as if it's out. That's the only thing. So that's why to me right now, Asia is the only one that I technically want to get to and looking to get to over here on Las Vegas. Now, we've already seen the Jewel Lloyd quote unquote revenge versus them several times. Versus them when they played, she played this game 10 points in this game. The game before that, 14 points. Third time's the charm. GPP option straight up for me. I like her. If Asia's out, then yeah, definitely run with it. You could definitely go there. Cheapest one out of all three of these guys that does technically get a boost if Asia was to miss. That would be the one that you would want to get to and go to. And then she could be sneaky still because even if Asia plays, people probably aren't going to want to go in that direction. So you could definitely get a good boost by going ahead and just playing her and just hopefully that you get that quote unquote revenge game that everyone has been waiting on for her. But all right, that's it really for the DFS breakdown. Let's see. Tina Charles over 15.5 points. God dang. Tina. I know that we suck versus opposing forward centers, all those other things like that. But let me look at Tina Charles. Let me give you a little bit deeper of an answer for Tina Charles. Because it's just her minutes and her upside is looking like it might be ticking down. It might be ticking down, especially that last game versus Phoenix where she just went out there and played like shit. She cooked us. She straight up did cook us last time out. Props, players. If anyone has anything that they want me to look at, check out, drop it down in the comment section. I will gladly check it out for you. Let's see. Tina Charles, go to her points. On the season, Tina Charles, she's gone over her point total of 16.5 in 67% of the games. Now let's see what's she doing at home. At home, she is 5 of 6. Really does suck. I got Tina projected right at damn. If you would have been able to get Tina at that 14.5, that would have been more of like a safety net and a safety play right there to mess with. I could have seen that for sure. Let's see, 17. This was on the back end of a back-to-back. So you know what? I'll give Tina some grace. I'll give Tina grace. I'll give Tina the grace. 16.5, it's a bit risky. Definitely is like, you got to squint real hard to see if Tina's going to be able to go out there and get that for you. But I can definitely see her being able to do that. She's been pretty consistent, especially at home on the season. She's averaging 18.33 points. So that's what, point 1 point something in regards more than what she's what they got her line at 16.5. So I can see definitely taking the over on that one right there. That would be something that you could definitely mess with. I can see the over on that. Anyone else got anything else that they want me to check out? While you guys check that and see if you do, I will go ahead and start looking at some props. Let's see. Let's look at the assist props. See who's got a decent matchup, decent spot on the season. I know Gabby's been one I've been going to pretty consistently in regards to a goblin play. Whenever they put it at like 3.5 or 2.5, I'll take that one as a goblin play. I don't mind the upside for her on that one right there. But looking at the 2025 season, Alicia Gray, she's been hitting that pretty well. But I do also like whenever we can get her rebounds line. Oh, change the games because I don't want to see indie stuff. Make sure we got the right stuff going up. I myself technically always like to look at overs. I'm not really a big fan of unders. I want to see everyone do well. Ryan Howard, 4.5 assist. Home games on the season. She's only gone over this in 2 out of 3. Damn. What about your rebounds? She's cleared these rebounds, though. Oh, that's her goblin line. That's the goblin. Oh, that's stupid. I hate when PrizePicks does that. I would take it for the 5, especially if Brittany Griner's going to miss as well. Let me see, because they did have some games without Griner this season. In the 2 games without Brittany Griner, she had 8 and 9 rebounds versus Connecticut Sun and the Sparks versus opposing forwards. They're not giving up too many rebounds, but still. I could see that. Let's see. Head-to-head versus them this season. She only had 1 rebound versus Washington. Damn. That sucks, but I can't ignore what she's doing at home. She's literally hit this in every home game this season. And you're going to tell me BG is going to be out and she hit that in both games without BG? I would mess with that. The lines are over -106 and under 122. I'm confused on what you're saying with that part. Alicia Gray props you like. That's what I was just looking at just now. Let me go back to it because I just say if they give me Alicia Gray rebounds at a decent, I can mess with that. Let's look at Alicia Gray. Let's find a decent Alicia Gray play that we can rock with. Tell you what, it's a little hot here in my garage because that's where I'm at. I'm about to move locations. 1 second, y'all. This is live streaming at its finest. All right, a little bit better. All right, Alicia Gray props. Alicia Gray over 30.5 fantasy points. That's been consistent versus them. Didn't get there in that game without Brittany Griner. All right, I can see the Alicia Gray fantasy points. Yeah, Alicia fantasy points would be the one that I would look towards as a good play for her. I take her fantasy points, or let me see what she did without Brittany Griner. Or we could look at her rebounds. At home, she's averaging 6 rebounds at home. They got her line at 4.5 on. Oh damn! I guess maybe if that's up on Prize Picks to 4.5, I could take her rebounds. She's been a pretty sneaky rebounder, and looking at it, that's going to be one of the weak spots that we can actually take for rebounds versus Washington. I would mess with that right there. All right, Arika over 17.5 points. I could definitely dig that. Hold on. She's averaging right at 18 on the season on her away games. And let's see. Where's Page? Bottom 5 defense versus points. They give up the 11th. So what's that? 13, the third most points to guards. Yeah. Enrique points. I would mess with that one right there. I definitely could take that. Let's look at some insights. Versus where is it? Oh, I already got my splits up. Bottom scoring, bottom line. Bang. All right. And again, I like to focus on over, so there's only 17 of them. Skylar 5.5 assist versus bottom defenses for assist. Let's see, 2025 season. Skylar's rarely gone over this. Head to head, she's had it in one game she hit it, one game she didn't. So she had 5 directly on the dot. They're not giving up that many. I would actually look towards Gabby. Looking at that right there, they're not giving up as many assists to the guard position as they are the forward. So if Gabby's assist line is going to be up, I'll definitely look towards Gabby right there. Ezzy, I never trust Ezzy for no damn rebounds or anything like that. That's always killed me. Jackie Young has exceeded 1.5 steals and blocks in 5 straight games versus 4 blocks. Let's see. On the 2025 season, you've hit this in 6 out of 11 games head-to-head versus them. She actually had it in both games versus them on the season where she was able to get 2 steals. Last year, not so much, not so well. Last 5 games versus Mercury, she didn't have it. Versus Minnesota, she didn't have it. Jackie is technically the forward. She is not the 2. She is the forward. They're giving up roughly 2.8 steals to that position. Steals and blocks are so tricky. That would be a lean play for me, not something that I would jump on. But this one right here, NECA, 13 field goals attempted. I do like that, and I hope that this one is actually, game stays close enough. I do think that we can look towards NECA for this 13 field goals attempted. That would be one that I would look towards on the season. Let's see, in away games, she's averaging right around 13. Mr. versus Golden State, Mrs. versus Phoenix. But the Sparks, I would look at this one. And of course, like I said, head to head, she pushed in one, she went over in the other one. I would look at that one right there. That would be one I wouldn't mind getting, would be the NECA field goals attempted. Jewel Lloyd, turnover. Really? Their bottom 5 defenses for turnovers for us. Why would I take that? That's stupid. Ezzy, not looking at Ezzy props. I really don't want to. The Tina Charles, she's gone over this in 6 out of her last 7 games versus bottom 5 defensive points allowed. So that helps solidifies your Tina Charles points argument. Some Enrique stuff. Enrique's gone over 17.5 points in 7 of her last 9 games versus bottom 5 defenses for points allowed. So that can solidify your Enrique point that you wanted. Alicia Gray has exceeded 1.5 turnovers in 4 of the last 5 games versus top 5 defenses for turnovers for us. That's interesting. Dejanay, I would look at her, but she's coming off the bench, so I don't even want to mess with that. Kiki has exceeded 9.5 field goals attempted in 5 of the last 6 games versus bottom 5 defenses for 2-pointers allowed. Really? They are. If BG doesn't play, see, I don't like that because now we have Shakira Austin in the starting lineup. I'm not going to mess with that. Honestly, I would mess with the Shakira Austin. I know that they had Shakira Austin up for 25.5. For 25.5 for her fantasy points. I would look at that right there as another play that I like. Asia Wilson under 40.5 PRA. Let me look at that one for you, Ghost. I know it's going to be first game back, and it's going to be like, damn, are we going to really expect for her to just come back and just be able to pop off like that? They're going to need her to. But Asia Wilson versus Seattle. Bro. PRA. Wherever you're seeing that 40.5 PRA line, wherever you are seeing that at, slam the under. Slam the fucking under. What the fuck? She's only gone over that twice this season versus the Sparks and versus New York, and she had to have huge scoring games to go to do that versus either one of those. She's, of course, playing the forward/center position over here for Las Vegas. it's gonna be a tough matchup at the center spot. I mean, shit, it's a tough matchup at the power forward spot as well. I take the under on that, especially first game back, coming back from injury and stuff. Yeah, dude, that's crazy. Wherever you get in that 40.5 line, brother, slam that. Do you have a recommended DFS optimizer? There's a couple of optimizers out there that you can use. If you want to look at stuff, you can definitely mess with RotoWire. I know they have one, and you can adjust the projections and stuff up there. And then Line Star is actually not bad in regards to giving you projections for WNBA and stuff like that. So those would be two that you can definitely use and be able to create your multi-entry lineups and stuff like that. Yeah, because 40.5 is a high line, especially for a player coming back from injury, and she hasn't hit that but only 2 games this season. That's wild. Beyond wild. All right, y'all. That's gonna do it for me on today's show. Gonna go ahead and get the rest of my content stuff posted out. It's Flex Friday, so gonna cook up a six slip, get that posted for you guys as well. Good luck to everybody. If you guys are playing on today's slate,